Hey everyone. Knott's Berry Farm is a beloved amusement park in the Anaheim area of Los Angeles. Technically, it's Buena Park, but for most of you, it's where Disneyland is. And a lot of us Californians grew up going to Knott's Berry Farm, America's very first existing theme park, by the way, fun fact, as it was the cheaper alternative to Disneyland and still a lot of fun. But folks attending the park on July 12th got a different kind of experience. A man and his wife were seen causing a big commotion in line for one of the rides after getting into a dispute with another group of park goers. Now, I don't actually know how that dispute started in the first place, and the people who recorded this video have been a little mum on the details, but the man here uses a slur for Hispanic people in the clip that starts with the W, and you can see the other people watching the incident reacting negatively to what's being said, but no one spoke up.
Mind yours. How about give?
The clip was originally posted by TikTok user Slick59SD, or SD Slick, along with the caption that says, "TikTok, do your thing. Find this couple's name and info. They said racial slurs to my sister calling her names. The wife is an educator. Things unfortunately got physical because they remained being racist." And I took that to mean at the time that this guy kept screaming racial slurs at this family until they decided it was time to throw down, and this broke out into a fight. That's actually not what happened, but more on that in just a minute. Okay, interesting. The wife is an educator. I wonder how they figured that out without knowing these people's names first. It must have been something she said in the interaction that we don't hear on video. And when I first saw this little clip, I noticed her look at him, and she looks like she's going, "No, like, don't say that. Someone might record you and put you online. Maybe keep the racism down in public, honey." That made the information we learned later even more interesting, because on July 25th, about 2 weeks after this incident, the Orange County Register posted an article revealing many of the details behind what happened that day and what became of the people involved. Apparently, the physical altercation that got him kicked out of the park that day was not with the people he was yelling at in this clip who posted this video, and was actually with an entirely different group. But keep in mind that our main character says in their little text with the clip that racism is what got him kicked out of the park. So they went and were just as racist as they were here to another group of people in the park who apparently did decide to throw down over what he and his wife were saying. So it's quite possible this guy got his ass beat on the way out. But okay, this guy was completely on one that entire day, apparently, clearly belligerent and looking for a fight. But it wasn't, I discovered, just him. There was a reason that the wife was involved in this in our main character's text, because in fact, the woman who was the recipient of this racist tirade posted this to Facebook. She, meaning this man's wife here, called me an effing B-word, meaning the other Hispanic racial slur, not the word bitch. That was our girl encounter. Then after we exchanged words, I went to meet with my family, and that's when her brave husband decided to call me the other racial slur. So wow, they really hit the double whammy between them, these two, which it actually means that she's just as culpable and fair game as he is, and perhaps they both deserve some punishment. And luckily, that's exactly what they got. The man and woman in this video are actually a married couple. They were found pretty quickly by the internet sleuths. Their names are Keith and Melissa Ferguson, and as it turns out, he actually works for the Eastern Municipal Water District in Paris. Not that one. A fact that Said water district was none too pleased to have to deal with when they started getting flooded with calls and comments about what their employee had been up to in the park. It got so bad, in fact, for the Eastern Municipal Water District that both the district's Facebook and Yelp page have been shut down. They also had to issue the following statement. EMWD is committed to guiding principles that include respect, integrity, accountability, and maintaining a safe environment for all employees, customers, and communities we serve. We remain dedicated to our mission, vision, guiding principles to provide a safe, reliable service to our customers. Basically, it's cliche corporate ChatGPT speak, but they came out with an apology, and they also, here's the kicker, informed the OC Register that Keith had been, surprise, surprise, fired from his job. But not to worry, our dear old friend Melissa didn't get out much better, because once it circulated that she had participated in the racist tirade against this family alongside her husband, people quickly discovered her employer as well. Melissa Ferguson was discovered to be working, and turned out that our main character's description was accurate in this regard. She was a middle school teacher working with special education students, and that always strikes me as particularly disturbing because if she hates or looks down on people for their ethnicity, and I have to assume that she might because she's yelling racial slurs at two unrelated families in a single day, how is she treating those students of other ethnicities that maybe can't stand up for themselves for one reason or another? And the admin of the school clearly agreed because shortly after, Melissa Ferguson, too, was fired from her job. So these two will have a while to think about their poor decisions on the couch at home together as a newly unemployed couple, and good luck getting a new government or teaching job with this hanging over you forever. But wait, there's more. Now perhaps you clicked this video thinking, wait, this isn't the Knott's Berry Farm Karen incident from July 12th that I remember seeing. Wasn't there a totally separate woman who was caught threatening to call ICE that day on a totally different Hispanic family also at Knott's Berry Farm? Yes, there was. On July 12th, two completely separate incidents took place at the Knott's Berry Farm involving racist adults saying bigoted things to Hispanic people. So, this was incident number 2, because of course I'm not going to leave you hanging from that dreadful day. Apparently this happened in the Fiesta Village section of the park in line for the Dragon Swing ride of all things.
This racist white lady started it. She's MAGA. She's a piece of shit.
This one was posted to Reddit originally by user NW Outlaw, and he tells us, quote, I was with my niece and nephew, both 10, and my wife. We had just boarded the Dragon Swing in Fiesta Village when all of a sudden this lady starts screaming and cussing at the ride operator. She then proceeds to throw racial slurs at the family and proceeded to call the mom and little girl whores and to go back to Mexico. They, the parents, screamed back at her that they are not Mexican, they're Puerto Rican, and the lady continued by saying she was going to call ICE on them and all of us on the ride, including the ride operator. We didn't get to ride, and the mom and dad went after the bigot to confront her about being so bold and calling her daughter a whore. Mind you, this child is around 10 years old. The maggot, I think she thinks this person voted for Trump, ran off with her Latino husband. That's an interesting twist. And that's when security came and took statements from the family, myself and other witnesses. There is no room for hate in this world, and I hope that little girl can heal and move on from such a traumatic event. Now, unlike our first incident, this woman didn't get in any physical altercations and was therefore not dragged out of the park in cuffs like our first guy, but she was nonetheless punished for her behavior. The same user, shortly after, got in contact with the park itself about the incident and shared the following email she had received from them. Thank you for contacting us through our Voice of the Customer system. My name is Michael Bogosian, and I am the Director of Security and Safety at Knott's Berry Farm. We are a family-friendly theme park and take matters such as this very seriously. We were made aware of this incident, and officers from my department did in fact contact this person. Based on their behavior, they were issued a 99-year ban from all Six Flags properties. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact me at this email. So that's kind of a delightful outcome, right? We have confirmation from the park itself that she has been banned from Knott's Berry Farm and all affiliated Six Flags properties for all time. And we love that for her. What the odds are of there being 3 incidents racially targeting Hispanic people in one afternoon at Knott's Berry Farm, I have no idea. But what a day it was. Wow. All right, share your thoughts, feelings, and concerns in the comments below. Let me know what's in the water and tell us which incidents and stories you'd like to see me cover in the future. Leave me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I promise you won't regret it, and I guess I'll see you around.